makeup is just an enhancement. It does not make you beautiful. So just make sure that you feel beautiful on the inside when you take off your makeup. So now that that is out the way, I wanted to say that little tip. Hi guys, this is Rana. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time. And again, welcome back if you've been here for quite a while. You support. So I just wanted to come on here and finally upload this video of me doing my makeup. This is not, and I repeat, this is not a tutorial. This is just simply me showing you how I do my makeup. I'm not doing all of the fancy stuff. It may be fancy to you, I don't know, it just depends on how much you do your makeup, but it's really kind of simple to me. This is not my full glam, I should say. This is not my full glam. This is more of an everyday, if I decide to put on makeup kind of thing, this is the look that I will go for. So I just wanted to come on here and say that while I'm here, might as well say, you know, make sure you check out my how to apply false lashes video. I have that as well. If you all want to see me do each and everything individually, those will be individual videos. That would not be me explaining that step by step in one video. I ain't got time for that. And with the way this editing app is set up, it ain't got time for it either. So I just wanted to come on here and say that little piece. But just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to your channel, because you know, yeah, we out here. So enjoy. So I always like to start off with moisturizing my lips. Any kind is fine. And then this is the primer from CAO Cosmetics. I got this a while ago, so I don't even know how much it cost. So I just kind of put this all over my face. And just make sure you don't overdo the primer. Considering if you're going to moisturize also, you don't need too much primer. I use Clinique Moisture Surge. This is a spray. At first I was using just the moisturizer that's in the tube. But this one, I like this one also, because I can just spray it on really quick and it's good to go. It's not stuck in my fingernails. So I just let that dry a little bit, because again, it is wet. And this is my MAC color corrector. I was matched at the store, so if you feel like you need to use color corrector, or if you want to try it out, go get matched and it'll make your life so much easier, trust me. So I just kind of apply that under my eyes, and I don't use too much, but I make sure that it's covered. And then I also, you'll see me, I will also put that around my lips as well, so any dark areas. So what I actually do is let that sit while I am doing my eyebrows, because you don't want to wipe that away. Well, you're not wiping it away, but you don't want to start touching that too fast and it's still wet. I like to let it not dry, but just not be as wet, I should say. So yeah, I just kind of do that while I do my brows. So what I use for my brows now is the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil.
At first I was using the dip brow. I still have the dip brow, but I bought this one just to give it a try, just to try something different. And I do like it. I have grown to like it more. But when I first used it, I was not a huge fan. But this is what I use. So for my brows, I just kind of, and it's weird that I kind of move my hand to make my skin kind of stretch a little bit. But I just do that. And all I am doing is following my hair. Follow your hair and you really cannot go wrong. The only time I don't is towards the ends, because that's where I have less hair, less eyebrow hair. So I just kind of create that. But once you have the top and the bottom, it's super easy. All you're doing is just connecting the dots basically. And if you notice, I am not starting directly towards the lighter part of my eyebrow. I kind of started maybe about 1/2 inch where it gets darker, if you notice that. And then I go towards this area right here. For no certain reason, I don't know. Once I started doing my eyebrows and I kind of had my own little flow of doing it, I just stuck with that. I'm sure if I started from the inner corner that it will still have the same turnout, but that's just kind of what I do. And of course, you will literally do the same thing on the other side. Now for me, I don't know if anyone else really noticed, but my eyebrows are not parallel to each other. So sometimes, if I don't even know how I've done it, maybe once or twice, but it was only a few times where I had them, you know, together and lined up. But for the most part, my left eyebrow is higher than my right. It's weird, but I don't even try to stress myself out over connecting the two, because it's just too much. And just a little tip for making your brow application way easier, because that is what I'm all about. Just make sure that you have them waxed, tweezed, threaded, you know, whatever you use, razored. I use razor. Make sure you have them cleaned up. That way you can just follow your hairline and you're not leaving any hair out from in your eyebrow, and you know you're trying to cover that up now, or you know now your eyebrows are thrown off because you have extra hair that you don't normally have there. So just make sure that you have them clean, and I promise that will make your application for your eyebrows so much easier. So for right here, another little tip: if your eyebrows are parallel to each other, that can help you as far as where to start your bottom line for the inner corner. If yours are, you know, straight like they're supposed to be, then that would apply to you. I cannot do that. I just have to go based on my eyebrows, but it is what it is. I don't even really care. I'm not bothered by it anymore. But you would just do that just to make sure that they are, you can really see it now how far off they are. But that's what you would do, just to make sure that the bottoms of your brows are, you know, connected. So here's where I take the other end of the Brow Wiz pencil and use this little spoolie brush, just kind of fading that a little bit. I hate when it's super dark on the inner corners. So I just do that, and then I am going to line them up next. This is my MAC. I use NC 46. And what I do, I don't use anything lighter than my complexion. Some people use concealer or a lighter color for, you know, shaping up their eyebrows. I don't do that simply because I think it's unnecessary. And I don't want this glow around my eyebrows that doesn't match my skin. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. But so I just take my Morphe brush, just dip it in the foundation. And literally all I am doing is just going across the bottom. And I promise this is super easy. It's much easier than it may look. So what I'm doing here is just wiping away some of the excess. I didn't use too much, but I'm just kind of moving that down just because there's no need to waste product. And that's another reason why I like using my regular foundation for my face to do this, because it matches everywhere. So if you do go up a little too high, you can always go back and use your pencil or use your brush, whatever you're using, to kind of fix what you may have put too much foundation on, like I did. That doesn't happen too often, but it can happen. But don't worry if it does. So I'm just repeating that for the top, and I just do that for both eyes. So here's where I take a little sponge, and now it's time to wipe some of the color corrector, not away, but just kind of blending it in a little bit, so that way you don't see it so harshly against my skin color. And that way when I put the foundation on top, everything just sets in how it's supposed to, and it's not one area super light, one area super dark. That way everything just blends together. So now it is foundation time, which is my favorite part. And I got this brush from BareMinerals. It doesn't really have a number or anything like that. It just says Luxe Performance, but I don't know if that's the name of the brush or if that's on all of their brushes, but I really, really do like this one. It's angled and it just gets the job done. So what I always do is start at the bottom. I do it in sections just because I don't like letting one area sit while I blend. I just do it like this. So I just kind of do that, do the bottom half, and then I will blend that out. So as you can see, I do not do under my eyes first. I kind of go up to it. I do my nose just a little bit, but I go up to that because I don't want all of these colors to really blend, because as you saw before, I did put a lot more of the color corrector under my eyes. So I'm really focusing just on the bottom, and then eventually you'll see me, I'll go to my eyes and forehead and then the bridge of my nose. And I also do this just the bottom half first, because there was a time where I let the foundation sit too long before blending around my neck, and it was kind of tough to blend that out on my neck, and that's super important for your neck to match your face. So I just make sure that that part is blended, and that way everything is just phased together. That's why I kind of start at my neck, because that part is so important. I mean, everything is important, of course, but I do make sure that that neck is blended together. And just another tip, hopefully your foundation is, the same color as your skin like mine, but it's a habit for me to kind of get my ears too. I really don't know why. And it's the same thing, same color, but I just get my ears. It's just something I've always done. So this part right here, I actually put the foundation brush a little too close to my eyebrow, so I had to just go in and fill that back in a little bit. And again, if this ever happens with your eyebrows, it's always super easy to fix. It's nothing that you need to panic over, or that you completely messed up. You can always go in and just kind of just fill it in a little bit. So just making sure that everything is blended in well. And there is a such thing as over blending, because you do not want to start wiping away the product. That is the last thing you want to do. So just make sure everything is smooth. Make sure you get the corners and creases of your eyes, or creases around your nose, around your mouth, places like that, and keep it moving. Do not keep blending your face. So the concealer I use is by Revolution, and the color is C12. I did get this one from Ulta, as well as the Dip Brow. I'll put everything below, so don't worry. But I use that, and as you can see, I am running out. But I really do like this concealer. It's very smooth. I like the way it, applies on my skin. So I don't use too much. I've always been one of those people that were afraid of like your face being like 3 different colors, as far as like foundation, and concealer and this and that and powder. It's just, I try to make it look as natural as possible, so I don't overdo it. If you feel like you want to add more, then, of course you can add more. But I've never been a huge fan of just putting on the most. I just like to make sure that what needs to be covered is covered. And that's really all I do. So right here, as you can see, I am using the opposite side of that sponge. Same sponge, just the opposite side, because the other side had the darker foundation, and I don't want to, mix the two. I still do want it to be, shown through. So I do not use that for my concealer. For blending the concealer, I use the other side, and trust me, at first I was using the same side, and I was just like, to me, I felt like it wasn't really working. I didn't see it. I didn't see a difference. But for me, when I made that switch and decided to use the other side, it's so simple, just using the other side, the clean side, but it makes a whole difference, a whole lot different. So I like my concealer color. Some people may have gone lighter. I don't want it to be like, whoa, her eyes are like super bright. I don't want it to be like that. So this is why I chose this color, and I stuck to it. But, you can use a super light color if you want to. If that's the look you're going for, that's totally fine. But this is what I use. So right here, I'm just making sure that around my smile line and my lips are, really covered. I did not add any foundation to this brush. It's just what's left on my little makeup plate. I don't really know what to call that thing, but that's just, the rest of that. I did not add anything to it because I smile a lot. And as you can see, before I put the foundation on, I do have, smile lines that are darker. So that I really make sure is, covered in that way throughout the day. There's no creasing. There's, anything like that, that everything throughout the entire day is, covered and, have that matte finish. So I use 2 different bronzers. This one is Rimmel London, and it is the shade or color Sunshine, and I get this one from Walmart. And that's another thing that I learned as well. Using 2 different colors on your face as far as the powders really will make a difference. Some people at this point will do the baking thing. I tried that. Maybe I didn't use the right color or the right brand or whatever the case, but I tried that, hated it, kept it moving. So I use this now. I don't know, the baking is just when I put it on there, it didn't want to wipe away. So I didn't know what I was doing wrong. So I kind of just left it alone and found something that works for me. So this works for me. And I make sure that I really get inside of those corners to make sure that it is really set in place. This will not have your eyes creasing whatsoever throughout the day. Your makeup will not crease. I wear this when I do my makeup, if I do it in the morning for the day, you know, it's on all day until that night. And I promise, as soon as I get home, there's still no creasing. I love this stuff. And for the rest of my face, I use my MAC powder. And this one is dark golden. I almost forgot what it was called until I saw that. Dark golden. I've had this for a while, as you can see. This one is, you know, being used up too. But I use this one, you know, around my lips. This one really is awesome. As far as, you know, using the color corrector with enough foundation, making sure you have full coverage foundation, and then putting this on top and really pressing that into your skin. You know, you may think I'm using too much or whatever, but it's really not. You are making sure that you are covered throughout the entire day, and I just really like it. So I use that sponge just for around my mouth because that's the only place left that had creases. So the rest of my face, which is just smooth out, is going to be used with this angled brush. This is also by CAO Cosmetics, that brush. Again, all of my CAO products I got when I was in cosmetology school, and believe it or not, I still have that, and that was, you know, some years ago. That's where the primer came from too. So, but I really like this company. All of their brushes and products are really nice. That's also the makeup plate that I have as well. That's by CAO Cosmetics. So all I'm doing is just going around the areas that I did not put the lighter Rimmel London powder. So I'm just doing that, and really that's pretty much it as far as, you know, the powder for your face. And then of course you'll get the neck, but other than that, that's really it. So it's now lash time. I love lashes so much. So I won't really be explaining this part because I do have a video for, you know, how to apply these lashes. So I will put that link down below so that way you all can go watch that and, you know, listen in detail as to how I do it. Of course, you'll see me doing on here. I didn't speed anything up or edit anything out. But if you do want to hear, you know, how I do it, you know, step by step, of course, you can always go check out that video. For my contouring powder, I use BareMinerals, and it is in the color Dark to Deep. I got this at the same time I got the foundation brush, and I really like it. So I use this brush from CAO Cosmetics as well. And as you can see, believe it or not, I use that same brush for my bronzer and for my blush. I just use each side. It just works for me. I don't know, I like it. So I just kind of go with the shape of my face. I already feel like I have kind of higher cheekbones, so it's super easy for me to do contouring this way. At least I don't use like the liquid contour and stuff like that. I'm not that fancy just yet. I haven't really got into that, but I do like doing it this way. I just feel like it's just nice, natural looking change. So I use this, and then I'm just using this for today. Sometimes I will use blush, but I won't be for today. Especially like if I do blush, it's gonna be when I do like my full face with like eyeshadow and things like that. I'm not doing all of that because that's not what I do every day. So this is the only reason why I'm using just the BareMinerals Dark to Deep powder today. And then for my highlight, this is another favorite of mine. I use it by Revolution, and this one is the Vintage Lace Set. As you can see, I broke the brown. I dropped it, and then the brown, crumbled like the second day I bought it. So I used my Morphe brush that I also got from Ulta, and just kind of hit that jaw a little bit. So you can use as much or as little as you want to. Usually I just do, my cheeks, my nose, and that's kind of it. Sometimes I will put it under my brow, even though I don't have, eyeshadow on. I will put it under my brow a little bit just to give it that extra little glow. So right here, I actually wipe off my moisturizer because it now has foundation on it, and that's super important to wipe that off. That way your lipstick, lip gloss, whatever you put on is not being caked up with foundation. So I wipe that off and actually moisturize my lips again. And this way, as you already know, you need your lips moisturized before you put on your lip gloss or lipstick to make sure that the application is nice and smooth. So on this part, I actually went to get it from my purse because I had everything I needed but that part. The lip liner that I like is by NK, and y'all, I get this from my local beauty supply store, and this one is the Morphe lip gloss. You couldn't really see it, but it's called Trippy, and I really like this one. So I just do the regular old lip liner, nothing too fancy, and just kind of line that up. I have small lips, so I am kind of learning how to overline, the top outer corners, but I try sometimes. And I also use the MAC lip gloss. Forgot the name of it. If I can look it up, I will and put it below. But I really like that one too. Just to give it an extra little, you know, little gloss. Because the Trippy is just so brown. And if you want to leave it at that, that's totally fine. But, you know, sometimes I will put on the MAC as well. This is just a closer look of how everything turned out. And as you can see, it really does not take that much time. You can always take out whatever you need to shorten the time. But for the most part, this is my, you know, routine for when I want to still have a face, but not a, you know, full glam face. But I really like it. This is what I go to. And I really appreciate everyone for watching and sticking through this video. Just don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all later.